Damn it, how will I ever get out of this labyrinth? The United States appear to be destined by Providence to plague America with misery in the name of liberty. The three greatest fools of history have been Jesus Christ, Don Quixote, and me. A state too expensive in itself, or by virtue of its dependencies, ultimately falls into decay, its free government is transformed into a tyranny, it disregards the principles which it should preserve, and finally degenerates into despotism. The distinguishing characteristic of small republics is stability, the character of large republics is mutability. All who have served the revolution have plowed the sea. Among the popular and representative systems of government I do not approve of the federal system, it is too perfect, and it requires virtues and political talents much superior to our own. Colombians, my last wish is for the happiness of the patria. If my death contributes to the end of partisanship and the consolidation of the Union, I shall be lowered in peace into my grave. Do not compare your material forces with those of the enemy. Spirit cannot be compared with matter. You are human beings, they are beasts. You are free, they are slaves. Fight, and you shall win. For God grants victory to perseverance. Let us give to our republic a fourth power with authority over the youth, the hearts of men, public spirit, habits, and republican morality. Let us establish this Areopagus to watch over the education of the children, to supervise national education, to purify whatever may be corrupt in the republic, to denounce ingratitude, coldness in the country's service, egotism, sloth, idleness, and to pass judgment upon the first signs of corruption and pernicious example. Let the entire system of government be strengthened, and let the balance of power be drawn up in such a manner that it will be permanent and incapable of decay because of its own tenuity. Precisely because no form of government is so weak as the democratic, its framework must be firmer, and its institutions must be studied to determine their degree of stability. Unless this is done, we will have to reckon with an ungovernable, tumultuous, and anarchic society, not with a social order where happiness, peace, and justice prevail. We have been ruled more by deceit than by force, and we have been degraded more by vice than by superstition. Slavery is the daughter of darkness, an ignorant people is a blind instrument of its own destruction. Ambition and intrigue abuses the credulity and experience of men lacking all political, economic, and civic knowledge, they adopt pure illusion as reality, they take license for liberty, treachery for patriotism, and vengeance for justice. If a people, perverted by their training, succeed in achieving their liberty, they will soon lose it, for it would be of no avail to endeavor to explain to them that happiness consists in the practice of virtue, that the rule of law is more powerful than the rule of tyrants, because, as the laws are more inflexible, every one should submit to their beneficent austerity, that proper morals, and not force, are the basis of law, and that to practice justice is to practice liberty. When I contemplate this immense reunited country, my soul mounts to that height demanded by the colossal perspective of a picture so wonderful. My imagination takes flight toward future ages and admiringly observes from them the prosperity, the splendor, and the life which will exist within this vast territory. I am carried away, and I seem to behold it in the heart of the universe, stretching along its extensive coasts between two oceans which nature has separated, but which our fatherland has united by long and wide canals. I see it serve as the bond, as the center, as the emporium of the human race. I see it sending to the ends of the earth the treasures of gold and silver which its mountains contain. I see it, through the healing virtue of its plants, dispensing health and life to afflicted men of the old world. I see it disclosing its precious secrets to the sages who know that the store of knowledge is more valuable than the store of riches which nature has so prodigally bestowed upon us. I see it seated upon the throne of liberty, the scepter of justice in its hand, crowned by glory, showing to the old world the majesty of the new world. When tyranny becomes law, rebellion is a right. Colombians, gather around the Constitutional Congress. It represents the wisdom of the nation, the legitimate hope of the people, and the final point of reunion of the patriots. If Miranda believed the Spaniards would observe the treaty, he should have remained to keep them to their word. If he did not, he was a traitor to have sacrificed his army to it. To do something right, it must be done wise. The first time instructs the second. The death of my wife placed me early in the road of politics, and caused me to follow the chariot of Mars. The United States appear to be destined by Providence to plague America with misery in the name of liberty. We have been ruled more by deceit than by force, and we have been degraded more by vice than by superstition. They mistake pure illusion for reality, license for freedom, treason for patriotism, vengeance for justice. It is harder to maintain the balance of freedom than it is to endure the weight of tyranny. Let us banish fear and lay the foundation stone of American liberty. To hesitate is to perish. Should I not let it be known to later generations that Alexander Petion is the true liberator of my country? Good morals, and not force, are the pillars of the law. A people that loves freedom will in the end be free. The art of victory is learned in defeat. The three greatest fools of history have been Jesus Christ, Don Quixote, and me. The freedom of the New World is the hope of the universe. In the unity of our nations rests the glorious future of our peoples. Slavery is the worst human indignity. Slavery is the daughter of darkness. An ignorant people is the blind instrument of its own destruction. Nations will march towards the apex of their greatness at the same pace as their education. Nations will soar if their education soars, they will regress if it regresses. Nations will fall and sink in darkness if education is corrupted or completely abandoned. Is it conceivable that a newly emancipated people can soar to the heights of liberty, and, unlike Icarus, neither have its wings melt nor fall into an abyss? Such a marvel is inconceivable and without precedent. There is no reasonable probability to bolster our hopes. Judgment comes from experience, and experience comes from bad judgment. Legislators could certainly do with a school of morals. If nature is opposed, we will fight her and make her obey us. Slavery is the offspring of darkness.